options. Yeah. Now, in options, just like futures, there are two parties to the contract. There is a buyer. The buyer is also known as holder. And of course, there is a seller who is also known as writer. Yeah. So you will frequently come across the word the writer of option. It means the person who has sold the option. Now, it's a contract between this buyer and seller. The buyer enjoys a right and the seller enjoys an obligation. Has to perform an obligation. Obligation is not enjoyment, but performance, right? Now, what is the right that the buyer has? The buyer has a right to either buy or sell. Yeah. And the seller has an obligation to sell or buy. That means when the buyer has a right to buy, the seller has an obligation to sell. If the buyer has a right to sell, the seller has an obligation to buy. So this is not fair, right? In a contract, one party has a right, the other has only obligation. And hence, to compensate the writer of option to be ready to perform his obligation, the buyer always pays premium. Okay? And this premium is received by the seller. Yeah. And the buyer potentially has limited losses and unlimited profits. So he can have limited losses and potentially unlimited profits, whereas the seller has limited profits and potentially unlimited losses. Are you clear with what are the rights, obligations, who does what and who enjoys what? Very clear with options.